avoiding burnout during the pandemic and beyond. Tahauya Jackson is a former people pleaser, overachiever, golden child, and trauma survivor turned mindset coach. Her superpower is helping powerful women drop their superwoman cape by overcoming perfectionism and people pleasing to begin living a life they never want to escape from. Through her Saving Superwoman Academy and social media platforms, she is devoted to teaching high achieving professional women how to detox from doing it all by overcoming their limiting beliefs to have a limitless life. She teaches women how to overcome their desire to save the world by finding the courage and clarity to show up for themselves the way they do for others. She's the creator of the Hey Girl Heal self-development journal and has helped over 5,000 women say goodbye to burnout and hello to balance and bliss. Tahauya, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you sharing time and dropping knowledge with us today. I know that I gave that beautiful introduction with your bio, but can you let folks know a little bit more about yourself before we roll into questions for today?
Thank you so much, Mariella. Yes, ma'am. I am, as she said earlier, former people pleaser, golden child. I started Hey Girl Heal, which is a mental health awareness movement and safe space for women to heal, be vulnerable, and become the best versions of themselves. I started that movement about 5 months after I broke off my engagement. And it was just basically like a light of everything of healing and just basically self-reflection and revelation that took place during that time. And I started that movement, and it led me, basically to learning the stories and the traumatic events and negative experiences that a lot of women have gone through in life. And so I started a community around that, women sharing their story and just basically just pulling back the layers, right, that they've had on for so long. And so we provide a safe space for that, which led me into becoming a mindset coach. And so we have Saving Superwoman Academy, which basically it helps women overcome people pleasing and perfectionism so they can have a fulfilled life. So I'm here to help women help themselves, and I am ready for this talk today.
Yes, I appreciate you. Thank you again for being here. All right, so let's just dive right into it. So mental health, psychological safety, these are things that are coming up a lot in our awareness in the media, in our journaling, within the private and public conversations that we're having. So I would just love to hear your opinion. What have you seen shifting in the recent, we can talk pre-pandemic as well, but just what have you seen in this realm of just becoming more mindful with our mental health, making sure that we are in a place where we feel psychologically safe? I would just love to hear your personal experience there.
Definitely. I feel like a more importance has been placed on our mental health since the pandemic because we realized the extent of it, right? We saw all of the amazing people whose lives were taking because of, this virus, right? And we were I hate to use the word cram, but we were crammed into homes and had to get to know the people that we actually love and live with, right? And so it was a thing, like divorce was at an all-time high. It was just so many things going on. And so you had to just basically be mindful of who you are as a person. And we have more time, right? More free time to explore who we are, what we like, what we love, what we don't like. And we were granted that space, right? To find out who we were and to discover who we were as people, which definitely is rooted in mental health, right? So it's rooted in our life experiences, it's rooted in who we are, and it's rooted in basically getting to know ourselves and loving on ourselves again. And so I feel like mental health, it basically was prioritized after the pandemic. Before it was more so a stigma, but we realized afterwards that we really need to prioritize our mental health. We really need to prioritize our bodies and our hearts and our minds and our souls and our spirit in order to be able to live the life that we want to live.
Yes, yes. And I love that basically all day, most speakers have brought up the importance of, that self-care piece that is going to be pivotal with all of the changes that are happening, and just making sure that we can continue to speak our truth and, be aligned with our purpose. And if we don't know what that is, like being willing to open up to discover that process. And so just speaking of that, discovering or rediscovering our purpose, a lot of people are feeling burnt out these days. So I just wanted to ask, in your opinion, what are some warning signs of burnout? What should our audience be looking for within themselves, their colleagues, their employees, just to be able to leave that burnout space healthily, and to also have their antennas up so they know, okay, this happens. That means I'm, on this spectrum of burnout, and I need to do this to overcome that.
Oh yes, definitely. As a mindset coach for Superwoman, I know burnout firsthand. And so we'll talk about some of the warning signs today. There are about 7 that I would say present themselves kind of on a daily basis. The first one would happen to be dread, right? So you dread going to work, you dread doing things that you once loved, right? So no matter what it is, it's like, okay, well, I don't feel like doing that right now. But it was once something that you actually loved doing on a consistent basis. Number 2 would have to be irritation, right? So everything gets on your nerves or rubs you the wrong way. The next one would be fatigue. A lot of people mention fatigue when it comes to burnout and associate fatigue with burnout because during these times, you lack the energy needed to get through the day, right? And another thing that we also do when we're fatigued is we desire to sleep more, which is also another symptom of depression or anxiety, right? We want to sleep away the feeling and the dark spots that we're in, right? And so fatigue is also another warning sign. If you're very much so an energetic person, and so now you don't have the energy to do anything. Maybe you need to look into burnout and assess your stress levels, basically. Number 4 would have to be distraction. So you have trouble concentrating and forgetting things more easily. It's very hard for you to focus. So maybe a lot of times with my generation, our way of not focusing or being distracted is our cell phones, right? So we, instead of doing the work that's at hand at the moment, we just pick up our phones and we're like, oh, okay, well, let's see what somebody else is doing. Isolation is another one, is where you avoid socializing and then you opt out at every chance and invitation to be around other people. So you're invited to a social event, you're like, oh no, I don't want to go. You just don't feel like being around people because of where you are, where your mindset is in the realms of burnout. And so another one is negativity. So you feel that nothing is going right and you express.
Okay, I think that she might be frozen. This is our last conversation before our awesome Catherine Zaleski joins us and leaves us with some food for thought and some words to encourage us for the following days of the summit here.